The California sun blazed down on the pristine parking lot of Prestige Autos, a Beverly Hills dealership where supercars gleamed like polished jewels behind glass walls. A $300,000 Lamborghini Aventador sat lifeless in front of the entrance, black smoke curling from its hood like a bad omen. Laughter, sharp and cruel, echoed across the asphalt. "Hey, filth, think you can fix a Lamborghini with those grimy hands?" sneered Victor Langston, the dealership's CEO, his voice dripping with contempt. Darius Coleman, a homeless man in tattered clothes, sat quietly by his shopping cart near the dumpsters, his weathered face unreadable. Millionaires in tailored suits and designer sunglasses pulled out their phones, eager to capture what they assumed would be a humiliating spectacle. Langston, in his Italian leather shoes, strutted closer. "What's wrong, Drifter? Too scared to speak?" He turned to his audience with a theatrical flourish. "Ladies and gentlemen, witness the ravings of a street lunatic." Evan Mitchell, the tech billionaire whose Lamborghini had just failed, shook his head in disgust, not at Darius, but at Langston's performance. The crowd's jeers grew louder, their cameras rolling. Then Darius stood, his movements slow and deliberate, every eye fixed on him. "Give me 1 minute," he said, voice steady as steel. "I can fix it." The parking lot went silent. The air crackled with tension. Langston's face twisted into a mask of rage and disbelief. A homeless man had just challenged him in front of his elite clients, and the audacity was staggering. Prestige Autos was Langston's empire, built on wealth, exclusivity, and the unspoken rule that money defined worth. Darius had been invisible here for 2 years, a fixture as ignored as the alley he slept in. His shopping cart held his life, a worn sleeping bag, empty bottles for recycling, and hidden beneath old newspapers, tools wrapped in oiled rags that no one ever noticed. The broken Lamborghini wasn't just a car problem, it was a crisis. Mitchell had flown in from Silicon Valley to finalize a $5 million deal for 47 Aventadors, the largest in Prestige Autos history. Now the deal teetered on collapse. Langston's master mechanic, a certified Lamborghini technician with decades of experience, knelt beside the smoking engine. His diagnostic computer flashed error codes. "It's dead, boss," he announced. "Timing chain's gone, engine seized, this car's scrap." The words hit Langston like a punch. $5 million, his reputation, his career, evaporating in seconds. Mitchell, already scrolling through his phone, muttered, "I'll call my pilot. This is incompetence I can't afford." "Wait!" Langston's voice cracked, sweat beading on his brow. "We'll get another car from the factory. Same spec, same color. Tomorrow morning." Mitchell's eyes were cold. "Tomorrow? I needed this car for a board meeting in 3 hours. You promised perfection and delivered a wreck. How do I explain this to my investors?" The crowd swelled, sales staff whispering, clients filming, even valets pausing to watch. Homeless individuals from the alley crept closer, drawn by the commotion and the rare sight of one of their own at the center of it all. Langston's career hung by a thread. 20 years of climbing from salesman to CEO, his mortgage, his country club membership, his kids' private school tuition, all rested on Prestige Autos' flawless image. A news helicopter buzzed overhead, amplifying his paranoia that his humiliation was already spreading. Then Darius's voice cut through again, calm and precise. The timing chain didn't break. Someone used the wrong oil filter. Every head turned. Langston's face purpled with fury. "Security!" he bellowed, his voice bouncing off the glass walls. "Remove this lunatic." He jabbed a finger at Darius, his gold watch glinting. "You think sleeping in our alley makes you an expert on Italian engineering?" The security guard hesitated, sensing the shift in the air. Langston, fueled by years of proving his place among the elite, unleashed a tirade. "Look at this wretch," he spat, circling Darius. "Filthy, stinking of failure. He thinks he can fix what professionals can't." Laughter rippled through the crowd. "Make him beg for change," someone shouted. A woman in designer shades live-streamed the scene, her followers eating up the drama. Mitchell watched, his jaw tight, disgusted by Langston's cruelty. Darius stood still, his dark eyes fixed on the Lamborghini. When Langston paused, panting, Darius spoke again. 5.2-liter V10 dual-clutch transmission, The wrong oil filter creates bypass pressure that wrecks the timing chain hydraulics. Common issue with 2023 models. The words silenced the crowd. They weren't the ramblings of a vagrant. They were technical, exact, the kind of knowledge earned through years of training. The master mechanic frowned, his diagnostic tools showing nothing close to Darius's diagnosis. "Shut up!" Langston snapped, panic creeping in. "He's high on something, meth, whatever these street rats use." But Mitchell stepped closer, intrigued. "What bypass pressure?" "The aftermarket filter doesn't match OEM specs," Darius explained, hands tracing invisible diagrams. "It creates a 15% pressure spike. The timing chain tensioner can't handle it, skips 2 teeth, and the valves hit the pistons." Silence. The master mechanic's face paled. That wasn't a guess, it was expertise. Langston felt his world crumbling, his belief that success equaled superiority, that appearance-defined ability, was unraveling. "You want a bet?" Langston's voice turned vicious. "Touch that car, and when you wreck it, I'll have you arrested for vandalism. You'll rot in jail where trash like you belongs." Darius's eyes stayed on the Lamborghini. "And if I fix it?" Langston's laugh was ugly. "If you fix a $300,000 car that my team can't, I'll hand you the keys to this dealership." The crowd laughed, but it was uneasy now. Mitchell's smile was sharp. "If he fixes it, I'll honor the fleet purchase. If he fails, I walk. And every CEO in Silicon Valley hears about this circus." Langston's knees buckled. His future now rested on proving a homeless man couldn't possibly know more than his certified staff. But to understand what happened next, you need to know who Darius really was. 25 years ago, Darius Coleman owned Precision European Motors, 6 blocks from Prestige Autos. His shop was legendary, trusted by celebrities and tycoons. If Darius couldn't fix it, it wasn't fixable. His father, Malcolm Coleman, a master mechanic for 40 years, taught him to hear an engine's heartbeat. Malcolm had worked on early Lamborghini prototypes in Italy, his skill earning respect despite prejudice. Darius inherited that knowledge, earning certifications for Ferrari, Lamborghini, and Porsche by 24. His shop thrived for 2 decades, handling million-dollar restorations and race car prep. Then tragedy struck. His wife, Lena, was diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer. Treatments were experimental and costly, insurance useless. Darius mortgaged his shop, his home, and sold his tools to pay for her care. Lena fought for 16 months but died, leaving Darius buried in debt. Creditors took the shop, then the house. Depression consumed him. The man who once charged $200 an hour became a ghost, begging for change outside the same dealerships his clients now frequented. But machines don't forget. Slowly, Darius's hands remembered their purpose. He fixed shopping carts and radios for other homeless people, each repair rebuilding his confidence. He watched Prestige Autos cars, noticing patterns in their failures. The 2023 Aventador's timing issue was one he'd seen before, a faint irregularity in its idle, a vibration during acceleration. He'd tried warning the service team, but security chased him away. Now that same engine sat dead before him. In his cart, hidden under rags, were his father's tools, a stethoscope, German timing tools, precision instruments from a pre-computer era. "A broken man can still fix what's broken," his father's voice echoed. Langston's challenge hung in the air. "Fix it or you're done," he sneered. Darius nodded. "1 minute." Laughter erupted. "1 minute?" a client scoffed. "My stylist takes longer." Langston, emboldened, raised the stakes. "Fix it in 60 seconds, and I'll fund your rehab, your training, whatever fantasy you're chasing. Fail, and you're banned from this property, arrested, and locked in a psych ward." A new voice interrupted. "Let's set rules." Antonio Rossi, a 65-year-old legend in automotive repair, stepped forward. His scarred hands and reputation commanded respect. Langston paled. Rossi had mentored him years ago. "What are you doing here?" Langston stammered. "I came for a Ferrari project," Rossi said, eyeing the scene with disapproval. "Instead, I find a circus." He turned to Darius. "Your diagnosis?" Oil filter bypass pressure caused timing chain tensioner failure, Darius said. Chain jumped 2 teeth. Valves hit pistons. Engines not seized, just mistimed. Rossi's eyebrows rose. You've worked V10s? 25 years on European cars, Darius replied. Lamborghini, Ferrari, Porsche. Langston scoffed. He's delusional. But Rossi ignored him, addressing the crowd. If he fixes this in 60 seconds with basic tools, his claims are valid. Mitchell added, if he damages it, Langston's insurance pays. Fine, Langston snapped, sweat dripping. When he fails, you'll all see. Darius retrieved his tools from the cart, gleaming instruments wrapped in oiled cloth, a stethoscope, timing tools, a small mirror. Rossi's eyes widened, recognizing their quality. 60 seconds, Langston barked. Mitchell started his stopwatch. Rossi raised his hand. Begin. Darius moved with surgical precision, ignoring the chaos of wires and smoke. He placed the stethoscope on the engine block, listening not for sound, but for mechanical resonance. Cylinder 7, he said, tapping the spot. Valve clearance is off. He moved to cylinders 6 and 8, comparing their signatures. Timing chain jumped 2 teeth on the exhaust cam. Cylinder 7's valve is held open by piston contact. Rossi leaned in, intrigued. The master mechanic protested, You can't diagnose a dead engine like that. You can if you know what to hear, Darius replied. Darius grabbed a dental mirror and flashlight, sliding it into the oil filler neck. Timing chain tensioner, he said, showing Rossi the slack chain despite the fully extended tensioner. Aftermarket filter caused 15% higher bypass pressure than OEM specs, overwhelmed the hydraulic chamber, stretched the chain. The master mechanic's face paled. His diagnostics had missed this entirely. Mitchell asked, How do you know these specs? Years of seeing this failure, Darius said. 2023 models are sensitive to pressure variations. Darius reached for a worn screwdriver and removed a hidden access port. Emergency timing reset, he explained. Lamborghini hides it to push engine replacements. He inserted a hex key, turning it 1.75 times counterclockwise. Metal clicked inside the engine. Minimal valve piston contact during deceleration, not catastrophic. He turned the ignition. The engine spun, compression building. At 59 seconds, Darius stepped back. Rossi climbed in and turned the key. The V10 roared to life, its exhaust note perfect, every cylinder firing in harmony. Perfetto, Rossi whispered, revving the engine. It ran better than new. The crowd froze, phones still recording. A homeless man had revived a $300,000 car in 60 seconds, with tools older than most of them. Langston's worldview, appearance equals worth, lay in ruins. Mitchell circled the purring Lamborghini, awestruck. How? Machines don't care about your status, Darius said, packing his tools. They tell you what's wrong if you listen. The homeless onlookers clapped first, followed by Rossi, then Mitchell. Langston stood paralyzed, his career unraveling. I want him, Mitchell declared. Name your price. Rossi stepped forward. Mr. Coleman, Lamborghini needs a senior diagnostic specialist. $95,000 salary, benefits, housing. Mitchell countered, I'll double it. Be my personal consultant. Darius considered both offers. Lamborghini, he said. Steady work, training others. It's what my father wanted. Rossi shook his hand. Welcome aboard. Langston's downfall was swift. Mitchell texted his network, and Yart Homeless Genius trended as videos of Langston's cruelty went viral. Margaret Sinclair, Prestige Auto's owner, arrived in a Bentley, her face like stone. You humiliated a master technician and nearly lost us $5 million, she said. You're demoted to junior sales. No authority, reduced pay. She turned to Darius. Mr. Coleman, you'll consult on our complex diagnostics, with full authority. Mitchell agreed to the fleet purchase, provided Darius oversaw all maintenance. 6 months later, Langston was driving cars to Darius's new diagnostic center, Second Chance Automotive, where he trained formerly homeless individuals. Langston, now a student, apologized. I judged you by appearance. I was wrong. Darius nodded. What did you learn? That expertise doesn't need credentials, Langston said. "Will you teach me?" 1 year later, Second Chance Automotive had placed 50 people in careers. Darius's motto hung above the entrance: expertise doesn't need permission, it needs opportunity.